Happy New Year, everyone. Quite a chart here on Ford Motor Company. The stock was up nearly 12% on Tuesday, hitting about a 20-year high on news that it was doubling production of the electric version of its Ford F-150, the F-150 Lightning. If we scroll down a little bit here on Seeking Alpha, we see a bearish article here from a couple weeks ago saying Ford stock faces a massive decline as reality sets in. Well, so far that hasn't been the case. But there's always a possibility that the company could pull back. So let's look at ways you can limit your downside risk in Ford if you hold it here. Before I do, just a quick note on Portfolio Armor. Ford popped up as one of our top 10 names on December 17th, a few days before that fellow wrote his article saying it was facing a massive decline. And since then, it is the second best performer out of that top names cohort after Tesla. So it's up about 23% since December 17th after Tuesday's big move. All right, let's go ahead and open up the Portfolio Armor iPhone app, and we will look at hedging Tesla. Not Tesla, I'm sorry. We'll look at hedging Ford. First thing we'll do is we'll type in the symbol, which easily enough is F. And then we'll type in a number of shares. Here we'll put in 1,000 for this example. And then threshold. And again, that's just the maximum decline that you're willing to risk. You can enter it as a percentage or a dollar amount. If you don't add a dollar sign or a percentage figure, the app is going to assume that you're entering a percentage. So we'll do 20% here, and then we'll stick, for starters, with our default time to expiration. We'll tap Find Optimal Hedge. So we do that, and we're presented with an optimal put option actually 10 optimal put options to be precise, to protect against a greater than 20% decline in Ford by June 17th. And the cost here is $2,010 or 8.27% of position value. And that's calculated conservatively using the ask price of the puts. In practice, you can often buy options at some price between the bid and ask, but this is still kind of high on a percentage basis. So let's look at a couple things we can do to potentially lower this cost. The first thing we can do is simply use a shorter time to expiration. So here I'll try mid-April. And now we see that the dollar amount has been cut almost in half, as well as the cost as a percentage of position value. That's down to 4.36%. Interestingly, I think the annualized cost dropped too. Here it says 16.08%, but let's go back to the default and compare. Yeah, it was 18.51 annualized going out 6 months. So, of course, the trade-off there is there's a chance that hedging costs could go up after April. And with this, you're locking in this hedging cost for a longer period of time. But let's go back to the April expiration and look at another way we could lower our hedging cost, which is to indicate that we're willing to cap our possible upside. So if you're willing to cap your upside, you may be able to lower the cost of hedging your stock or ETF by opening an optimal collar on it. So we can go ahead and put 20% as a cap just to check it out. Tap Find Optimal Hedge, and here we're presented with an optimal collar where the cost drops to $30 or 0.12% of position value. Again, this is calculated conservatively, assuming you're buying the puts at the ask and the calls at the bid. And then we can also look at going back to our default time to expiration. And here, now the cost is negative $20. What that means is if you were to open this optimal collar and you place both trades at the worst ends of their respective spreads, rather than buying in between the bid and ask, like we said you can usually do, you would receive a net credit of $20 when opening this hedge. So you can play around with this, use different parameters if you like, and scan for the optimal hedge to protect against a decline in Ford. And this gives you an option to keep holding the stock, hold on for more gains, but worst case scenario, your downside is strictly protected. Good luck.